Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Conference on Social Work, Social Sciences, Medical, Health and Allied Sciences and Technologies, Intergenerational Solidarity, Health, Well-being, Environment and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating World Social Work Day, World Social Work Week, and World Social Work Month 2025, in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Well-being, and all the collaborators of this conference, including International Federation of Social Workers and Global Forum for Rural Sustainable Development, and all other collaborators for this, including EQ for Peace, Worldwide Inc., USA, and others. So we welcome you all once again to this international conference, which is going to be held for 10 days from today, 15th March, till 24th March 2025. That is starting from Saturday till Sunday. Monday, we will be having valedictory session, followed by distribution of certificates. So this conference is organized on occasion of World Social Work Day celebrations, which is celebrated across the week and also the month. This year, we are celebrating every year on third Tuesday, March. We are celebrating World Social Work Day. So every year on March, third Tuesday. That is standard, date keeps changing, but the day remains same. We are celebrating internationally on the call of International Federation of Social Workers. So this year also, every year we are organizing international conference on this occasion and inviting papers from across the world. So this year also, though it was a very short notice, but we could inform and reach out and give a call for papers, either oral presentations or PPT presentation or poster presentation or talks, and also various activities as part of the conference, including nominations for awards under various categories, and also a quiz is also being organized on this occasion. So all these activities have individual certificates associated with it, like participation. All the participants, whoever is participating on whichever day, will be getting participation certificate for that day as marked. Individual certificates for each day. You will be getting participation certificate, whoever participates and is eligible, by marking their attendance in the Zoom platform in the form of codes. You can see a registration form that has been raised in the form of codes. So every day you can mark your attendance by filling the registration form that will be shared in the starting, which will continue till the end of the session. And at the end of the session, we'll be sharing feedback. You can share the feedback form. This both marks your attendance, your participation, and this form is only accessible in Zoom platform. So you cannot access it from outside. So outside the Zoom platform. So whoever is attending the conference will only able to be complete, fill and submit the registration form and feedback form in Zoom platform. The Google registration form for the overall conference, we have 3 forms which you can utilize. One is quiz form, where you will be given participation certificate for quiz once you submit the quiz. And For the conference, you have participation registration form and also presentation registration form. Whoever would like to only participate can register once for all the days and you can attend. Those who are willing to make presentations, they can make a number of presentations based on the availability and feasibility. So for each presentation, you have to fill the form once. So if you are making multiple presentations, you need to register as a presenter multiple times as required. So if you are only making one presentation, then you can fill once for that one single presentation. So there is no limit or number of participations. So you can register and make a number of presentations. And for participation, you can join every day at 6 o'clock and you can attend. You can join the Zoom meeting, fill the registration form and fill the feedback form that marks your attendance for the day and that makes you eligible for the certificate for that particular day. So every day, if you miss some days, no need to worry because whichever days you are attending, on that day, you will be getting participation certificate. So in this way, you will be gaining. So even sometimes it happens that 1 or 2 days you are not attending and you will not be eligible on other platforms. So here we have considered that request because we are having multi-day events. So today and in coming days, whichever day you were able to attend, on that days, you marked your attendance by filling up registration form as well as the feedback form and attending all the sessions and giving your feedback. So in that way, you will be eligible for participation certificate. Is both participation certificate and presentation certificate is different. So even presenters who would like to get participation certificate, for them also, the formalities are same. You also need to attend all the sessions because we need to encourage each other. We need to support each other. So it's not like, we are coming and leaving. We also need to support, like you are being supported. You also support others by listening to them and by giving positive or constructive feedback so that they can also improve. So in that way, if you also need presenters, especially those who need participation certificate as well, you can attend daily sessions from 6 to starting from 6 p.m. onwards. Today, there is little bit delay because of setting up. But tomorrow onwards, we'll be starting sharp at 6 p.m. and we'll be having daily commemorations every day. We'll be having daily commemorations. On that day, we have a few days like this platform, basically every day. We have sessions commemorating different occasions. So even part of the conference also, because we have 10 days conference and 10 days we'll be losing on commemorations. So to have that continuity, we'll be doing commemorations as usual. First, then we will invite the paper presentations or talks. And these 10 days, we are having an animal workshop, animal welfare workshop that is being scheduled on all the days, all the 10 days from starting from today till last day. So for that, you will get an additional certificate of workshop. So for that, the procedure formalities are same, like you need to register in the same conference because there will be no separate form for that. The same registration, which is applicable for the conference. You can attend whenever the workshop session is going on, you need to attend the workshop. Then for every session, there will be questions, almost 10 questions based on the session. So every day we'll be having a session, and based on that session, for 10 days, we'll be having to overall, for each day, 10 questions and overall 100 questions. Whoever is attending, they can easily score 100 out of 100 because whatever is taught in the session, the same will be assessed in the form of exam. So there you can submit your answers and you can score. Though the scoring is not the criteria for the workshop certificate. Those who are attending all the days of workshop, they will be given an additional workshop certificate, workshop on animal welfare. That will be mentioned as 10 days workshop on animal welfare. So similarly, whoever are experts in this field, if you would like to organize workshops as part of this conference, you can contact us on the given email ID or mobile number. You can organize 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or as long as our conference is going on daily after 6, not before 6. So daily our sessions start at 6 o'clock. So after 6, we can have presentations and also workshops going on one after the other. So every day we have animal workshop as of now, and there might be coming up other workshops as there is a proposal. So for each workshop, you will be getting additional certificate if there are any further workshops. So similarly, every day, all the presenters. So because these presenters are sending, there is on-spot registration that is happening. So we'll be not able to schedule in real-time basis because we observe that most of them are not completing the formalities. So presenters, what they can do, we are giving opportunity. So you try to complete all the formalities and then make a presentation. In any case, if you are not able to complete the formalities, you can utilize whenever there is an opportunity, make the presentation by sharing your details in the chat box. So all the presenters have to inform the organizers by sharing your details as shown on the screen. You can see. So once presenters join the session, so they have to share the details in following format in a single message because we have to record your presentation, right? So without that, again, there will be a problem generating in certificate. So keep this type ready before joining or even after joining also. Keep all these details ready and share in a single message. If you send multiple messages, then again, it will be difficult to keep a track. So send your title, full name, and your occupation, that is designation, department, and organization, and the place from where you are joining, city, state, country, and also your email ID and contact numbers, your mobile numbers, WhatsApp number. And what is the duration for your session? As such, there is no limit for duration. But this is why we are telling, if you send us in advance, as per your content, we can allot you time. Otherwise also, we will, at our discretion, as per if the content demands, if the content is worthwhile, the duration, we will allot you complete duration. Otherwise, the standard 3 to 5 minutes for your introduction, that is starting and ending, closing, opening and closing. And apart from that, 5 to 8 minutes of your presentation. That is standard format, but you can take more time. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to take only 10 minutes. You can go up to 40 minutes, 1 hour also, but provided you inform us in advance. So in that way, we will be able to schedule the session. So every day we'll be starting at 6 p.m. and we will give opportunity for everyone. So whoever is there till the last presenter, the sessions will continue. And there will be also a workshop, as I mentioned. Once the sessions are completed, we can have the workshop, or we will, after commemorations, we will take workshop as per the feasibility. We'll see every day based on the schedule. We'll take, and then we'll finally close this uh, session. After the workshop session and presentations and commemorations are concluded, we will be ending the session. So as we are little bit flexible and we are giving everyone opportunities, so we request everyone to utilize this wonderful opportunity, come forward and make presentations and also participate, encourage each and everyone, each others, so that everyone is part of this celebrations. So these are the instructions. So once you register as a participant, there is no separate invitation that is sent. Once you fill the form, you will be getting a copy in your email. That copy will have the Zoom joining address as you have joined now. Every day, the link is same for all the events. So you can join anytime, every day. Sessions are going on from 6 p.m. onwards. For any conference, any workshop, the link will be the same. So you can just save the link and you can join every day with the same link. So the sessions are also live streamed on YouTube. So every day you can go and you can watch it live on YouTube later also. Or the same live sessions are recorded, and whenever you would like to share with others or whenever you would like to go and watch, you can watch in our YouTube channel. So it is advisable that you subscribe to our YouTube channel for this conference, that is WSWD 2025, so that whenever there is a session every day, automatically going live, when you subscribe and click on notifications, then automatically you will be reminded. So every day, even in Zoom also, you can put it, and when subscribing to channel, that is an additional benefit you get. Whenever there is a session, you will be notified and you can immediately log into Zoom platform. And you can attend and mark your attendance for the day to be eligible for the certificates for events. So that is for participants. And presenters, you need to register and you need to send your details. What is that you are presenting, your abstract, full paper or PPT, whatever you are doing, along with these details. You can check presentation details. And for more information, you can visit presentation guidelines on the website, where you will get all the details, step by step, what is required. You can though customize it as per your requirements, but ensure that you are basically adhering to the structure of the guidelines, presentation guidelines, and especially do's and don'ts. And once we receive your presentation, your articles, your papers, we'll review it, and then we will appropriately allot the time and session. So if you are joining on spot, no problem. You share the details in the chat box. Once you complete the session, you need to complete the formalities. So only by merely joining and presenting the session, you will not be given certificate. So you have to register for the conference and you need to complete all the formalities. It is advisable before your presentation, you complete all the formalities, or at least immediately after your presentation or after the end of the day, before closure of conference, you have to ensure that you are completing all the formalities, because all certificates will be generated at once. If your formalities are pending, then it may get delayed. So that's the reason. So we request everyone, you try to complete as early as possible. But just in case it happens that you are not able to complete before your presentation, at least after your presentation, make sure that you are completing all the formalities. So share this information with everyone and invite them to join. This is our platform. So invite everyone to join and participate and also present. From today onwards, we will be having sessions going on. So we welcome you all once again. Hope the instructions are clear. And one more important instruction is we will not entertain any calls regarding certificates or any WhatsApp messages, or don't, keep chatting on social media regarding certificates. Because certificate is something that comes at the end. So only those who are completing the formalities, they will be given the certificate. So for that, as this is, we have a large number of programs. As you can see, you are attending the world's largest commemoration event that is happening. So it is not possible for us on a day-to-day basis to attend all the calls. So there will be a lot of calls regarding so many things. So in this regard, what we request you is you spend quality time on website. All the details are available on the website. You can follow. There is a format for requesting certificate. If you missed out anything, ensure that you are completing the formalities so that you will be eligible for the certificate. So especially if you are contacting us for certificate, so kindly make note that we will not be entertaining any calls, messages on certificates. You need to follow. No need to call us at any point of time for any event. We have designed a system in such a way that if you are in a disciplined manner and completing all the formalities, your certificate will follow automatically. That will be generated and you can download from the website. No need to call. Many people have, they have joined, they have with discipline and commitment, they have completed and they have downloaded their certificates. So it is not required that you have to be known to us or you have to follow up with us for anything. Only thing is for scheduling, you can just inform that once you send to, you can remind us in WhatsApp that we have shared it. So that, anyway, even if you remind us or not, we will do it. But certificate strictly a no, because we cannot immediately suggest you or help you on phone calls because we need to verify from the system whether you have completed all the formalities or not, and we cannot check everything because we are also working and we will also be in office and at other places, so we'll not be able to access the system. So only after 6, once we join back to the system, we'll be able to see. So it's unnecessary waste of your time and our time. That, and also, we have to dedicate our time for other things like even daily organizing. So these are the challenges. If you don't complete the formalities, if you don't follow the instructions in time, otherwise everything will happen smoothly, like as you registered, as you joined, as you are participating, as you are presenting, everything will go as per instructions if you follow. No need to call us, no need to contact us. And in the similar way, if you follow all the details, your certificate will also be generated. So make sure you are understanding the instructions carefully and completing them. That is one request from our side. And if you don't complete, we will not be able to help you. So unless and until you complete your formalities, certificates cannot be generated. But it's very simple. Only thing is you follow and do it. So that's the part of it, and hope all the instructions are clear. And we have the links shared on the website, and hope you all have registered. We are also sharing you the registrations link, but hope you all have already registered and joined us after registration. So you may not need them, but still we are sharing the details in the chat box. Those who have not registered can register. Even if you have not registered and attending also fine, you can, register later also. That's not a problem, but ensure that you are registering. So we will start our daily commemorations and then So we request all the presenters who are waiting for their presentations to share their details in the chat box and wait till their turn, because as per the queue order, it is all on first come first serve basis. We'll be inviting you as per the message order. And we are always there to help you, but you need to complete all the formalities, then only we'll be able to help you. We are always there. Don't worry, even after 1 year also, don't do like that. Whenever you complete, we'll give you, even if it is after 1 year, but don't do like that. I mean, we are saying that we are there to help you to that extent, but don't take it for granted. Complete as early as possible before the conference so that you also get the certificates immediately. Within a week's time, we are trying that you are all of you are completing formalities, assuming that you are completing formalities and joining, so that we will check the data on the last day. If all the formalities have been completed, we'll generate and we'll give it to you on the next day. Otherwise, if there is still pending, then in a week's time, we'll update. But don't take more time. We see people just come, present, and forget about, and once their college asks, they come back. And again, it is not that possible, because every day, even if you are in our place, it will be not be possible for you. So what we request is, you come, complete all the formalities immediately. Make sure presentation is just part of the formality. It is not only thing that you have to do. You have to register and you have to share the PPT and your details, go through presentation details, presentation guidelines on the website before presenting. So that will give you an idea how to present, what not to present, and so on. So now we will go to daily commemorations. Then after these commemorations, stay online. We will call you after the commemorations. Then after presentations, we will be having the workshop session. So with these instructions, we formally go for the inaugural of this international conference. So with the blessings, by taking the blessings of Almighty, we will move on.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. And once again, we welcome you to the World Social Work Day and month celebrations. So, with the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating International Day Against Police Brutality, in short known as IDAPB, which is a global observance observed every year on March 15. So, which is a global observance observed every year on March 15. And is a focal day of solidarity against police brutality. The first observation of this day began in 1997. Police brutality refers to the wanton use of excessive force by a police officer. It is one of the most prevalent forms of police misconduct and violence. Police brutality is widespread in many countries, and activists have been working tirelessly in demanding reforms. In police conduct, rallies and awareness programs are also organized to observe this day. So every year on March 15th, since 1997, activists from around the world call for protest and strict actions against police brutality. For years, anarchists called for action in Belarus on this day, but until recently, the day did not attract much attention. March 15th also marks the anniversary of harsh detention of anarchists in a missed trolley bus in Belarus. Activist anarchists and the common public strongly condemned the police action. So the violence of authorities, especially the police, destroys local communities and creates tension among the public. International Day Against Police Brutality highlights human rights violations in imprisonment, beatings, and torture, and something that is too common in police procedures. Today, many of people are afraid of the police and try to avoid situations where we might have to visit police station. And while violence against political activists might have reduced to some extent compared to the 20th century, violence against ordinary people is increasing either due to indifference or lack of solidarity. But how do we oppose police violence? There are countless ways to fight against police brutality if people come together and oppose it. In addition to the active self-defense, it is important to attract people's attention to the problem. People use tools such as graffiti, leaflets, stickers, and other medium of visual agitation, and also, of course, the dissemination of information about brutality and the fight against it on the internet. So every country deals differently with police brutality according to its legal system, but there are strict international laws that govern how and when police can use force. One of these is UN Basic Principles on the Use of Force and Firearms by Law Enforcement Officials. You can refer to this document. So, police brutality legality depends on the country, but anyone subjected to police brutality could sue the police officer or even the department for personal injury damages. Many cases of police brutality also involve civil rights violation, human rights violation, under constitutional or federal laws. So the levels of force police use include basic verbal and physical restraint, less lethal force, and lethal force. However, police officers should use only the necessary force to mitigate an incident, arrest someone, or protect themselves or others from harm. So many organizations that protest against the police brutality hold rallies on International Day Against Police Brutality. You can also raise awareness about the police brutality and on social media or handing out pamphlets and reading materials on the International Day Against Police Brutality. You can also donate to non-profit organizations fighting against police brutality or that are helping them to provide legal assistance to those fighting a case against it. See, not all the police are bad. Sometimes, things go out of hand, and because of dealing regularly with the criminals and other kind of people who are socially deviant and legally deviant, the general tendency is like they look everyone as culprits or violators or perpetrators in general. That tendency will develop over a period of time. So we should always be cooperative with them, and always, whenever you are dealing or coming in contact with the legal system, ensure that you are informing to your family members and friends about the need to access this system so that they are also aware. Often it happens that when you go alone without informing anyone, and if something untoward happens, then there is no record of, and even people don't know what has happened. So it's always that you go along with your friends, especially if you have some people who know the law or someone who already are in the system. You can take use of them or their help, and you can inform them, and with their support, or always go along a group, not a huge group, like at least 2-3 members. You go there so that you can talk, you can have conversation, communication with them, and you can also understand how things work. So generally, what happens if you go alone? There is no one to rescue you or help you or support you in case something happens. So that's always the best suggestion, even many legal advisors give. So always try to, have someone informed that you are going there and you are going to meet someone. And even after that, make sure that they are checking. So this is like countermeasure mechanisms where we can make ourselves safe, and also system also responsible, accountable for that. And as generally there is a tendency like that, we should always try to provoke them, or try to put them into such a situation that they try to doubt, and sometimes to avoid unnecessary risks or unwanted things happen, they can detain you. So this can also happen if you are not fair enough, if you are creating unnecessary ambiguity or doubt over there. So always try to be humble, try to be polite, try to be, helping, cooperative, and explain them the situation, and don't overreact. Okay, if nothing happens, also be calm, stay cool, inform them politely, and try to leave that place and pursue it in another form. There are different forms. Once you can orally inform, then if possible, you can give it in writing. Otherwise, you can use various, even online also. You can even send an email also to, police station, or drop. You can send a post also if you are, unwilling to go. Like there are various other ways, or you find a social worker, or you find a legal advisor or paralegal advisors, or you can use community workers. You can inform them, take their support, and along with that, you can go, or you can directly go to the courts, and you can, if you have any concern about anything, you can also approach. So there are different ways and means, to get your work done in a right way. So not everyone will face same situation. Most of the time, you will not have any issue. So in rare cases, sometimes the wrong person, wrong timing, wrong situation, wrong context sometimes can land you in problems or can be misunderstood. So that's why always, when there are some tricky situations, you always need to safeguard yourself and inform others so that they are also vigilant about whatever is happening. So the number of documented police killings in the US has doubled over the last 2 decades. That shows that police brutality is on the rise. And about 67% of Americans are killed by police using their firearms. And about 200 American children under the age of 12 have been killed during an interaction with the police since 2000. So that's why I'm telling, whenever, and many people tell, you have to be very polite, very calm, and don't be overreactive, and, stay cool. That is not the point where, you can get in a word with our argument. So try to cooperate with them, and slowly they will also, once, because they are also in a heated mood and in a panic mode, in an anxiety mode, and anything can happen. So that's why try to cooperate with them and try to follow their instructions. And then once they ask you, or once they are relaxed, they are cool, you can explain the situation in a cool manner. So statistics show that 1% of the police-involved killings result in an arrest or indictment of the officer. So what happens, the main problem here is the perpetrator usually goes unpunished. So rarely it happens if there are 100 cases, only one case will get, arrested or sent in. So that means the rarely 1% is the chance. So that's why that is also one thing that is not deterring such kind of events to happen again. So the estimated 84% of the police reported that they have witnessed fellow officers using more force than necessary. So as I said, they are conditioned in that way. So that's why often they show the frustration on the people, because sometimes they are the helpless people there over, because of lot of pressures, political pressures, systemic pressures, and lot of pressures are there, and sometimes they vent their anger, their pressure, their frustration on the common people. That is where most of the cases such things happen, because of the helplessness of common people. So International Day Against Police Brutality reminds us to make aware of our rights as citizens, and this is a great day to brush up your legal language as well. While the police has been appointed to safeguard citizens' rights, they often abuse the power. So this is there even in almost every country. They have been trusted with, and this day is a reminder that no one is above the law. But still, practically, things are different. International Day Against Police Brutality hopes for a day when police brutality no longer exists and victims of it get their due justice. So nowadays we have friendly policing and a lot of things are happening. So unless and until we understand the kind of environment they are working, the kind of situation, context they are dealing with, it's, it's difficult in such a situation. So today we are also commemorating International Day of Action Against Canadian Seal Slaughter, so which is observed on March 15th every year. Canadians join concerned citizens around the world in protesting, and also the horrific killing of young seals. So with the recent adoption of the new regulations in the commercial seal hunt that allow for the slaughter of even more seals, the time-honored custom, which is not a tradition, is sure to establish a new record in terms of brutality and barbarity. So according to Canadian government, this is an exciting time for pups, Canadian sealers, as they prepare to once again ply their old trade 3 years after seal pups have fully recovered from the impacts of shortage and are now being breeding. at rates projected to be higher than ever before. The day of observance is used as a means to appeal to the plight of the baby seals and warn about the dangers of killing them. So, Canadian seal pups are brutally clubbed to death or shot at close range in the late spring and early summer. The annual slaughter is inhumane, unnecessary, and overwhelmingly opposed by the Canadian public. Seals are slaughtered for their fur, but due to dwindling worldwide fur market, there isn't enough demand for seal skins to support this inhumane activity. So seals can also be killed for their fat, which can be then turned into oil and marketed as a health supplement or fuel. However, with new technology and alternatives available, there is a little incentive to continue killing seals for any product. So in 2004, the first International Day of Action against Canadian seal slaughter was held in New York City and was organized by IFAW. The event took place on February 28th at the Grand Central Terminal. It was a major success with over 100 protesters and media coverage from several major television stations and newspapers. So seals are protected from hunters in Canada since 1987. Whitecoat's newborn seal pups have been protected by law. By the time they are also 3 or 4 weeks old, their white fur will have fallen out and been replaced with brown or grey fur. Canadian government says it enforces a human kill method on hunted seals, including killing them quickly with a high-powered rifle shot to the head. But seal hunting is controversial. One of the most significant moral issues in the seal hunting controversy has been the careless, deliberate promotion of racial discrimination and hatred aimed at Newfoundlanders and Canadians by groups and individuals whose primary aim is to raise funds. Now, today, the fur of the seal can retail for $15 after the captain takes his cut. Hunters receive around 3 per pelt. Seal pelts are not particularly lucrative until the retail stage, but hunters must go through a thorough process to get to that point. So it is not worth also. Every year, hundreds and thousands of people visit the site to learn more about the Canadian seal killing. Many people are unaware of its size, of that its victims are baby seals rather than adult seals. We must inform our friends that what people do is helpless newborn seals each spring so that they can be educated. And if you have some extra money or you can run a campaign, consider donating it to an organization that is working to end commercial seal slaughter. In Canada, and others work behind the scenes drafting legislation and working with lawmakers to pass laws that would put an end to the commercial seal slaughter. So hunting endangers seal population. That's why this day is important to create more awareness. The North Atlantic Marine Mammal Commission warns that the seal populations will decline if hunting continues and shows no signs of decreasing. And ArpSeals.org reports that about 95% of the seals killed in the commercial seal hunt are just 3 weeks old to 3 months old for seal fur. According to the Sea Shepherd, a harp seal's diet consists of only 3% cod. That is, killing seals won't save fish. And ultimately, the general population does not need to kill seals to stay warm or eat meat. Humans will survive without even seal meat or fat or fur. PETA claims that sealers typically use clubs or haka picks topped by barbed hammerheads to kill the mammals. And seal hunting is extremely cruel. So this event brings us together animal rights activists from around the world in a show of solidarity that aims to raise awareness about the unnecessary nature of the Canadian commercial seal hunt. So raise your voices today. The International Day of Action Against Canadian Seal Slaughter is important because it helps spread awareness about the commercial seal slaughter. It also allows people to take action against the cruel seal hunt in Canada and become more active in animal rights and wildlife conservation. The day is also essential because it encourages companies to stop producing products made from seals like fur coats, rugs, and meat. Pressure from consumers can be very effective in changing what corporations decide to make and sell. If you say no, automatically the problem gets solved because when there is no demand, then there will be no supply and there will be no killings. So we have to take a decision and we have to take a stand. Today, we are also commemorating International Redefining Wealth Day on March 15. The day asks people to question what wealth means. Should your existence revolve around having money or having well-being? And it is also possible for you to earn more out of life without amassing material wealth. It is also possible for you to earn more out of life without amassing material wealth. It's about achieving your life's purpose, finding fulfillments in the little things, and chasing goals instead of money. A fresh take on your relationship with the money starts with acknowledging that there's more to life than material possessions. So the day was introduced by Patrice Washington, who is the award-winning author to redefine wealth for yourself and the host of Redefining Wealth podcast. So Washington has appeared on shows like Dr. O's and many. Through her teachings of 6 pillars of wealth, fit people, faith, space, work, and money, Washington shows women and men that leading a disciplined but satisfying life is better than becoming a hostage to pursuing money. As an accomplished personal finance experts and tools to prosper in their careers, giving them homes and personal finances, Washington's unique philosophy sets her apart from so many other financial gurus. And she freely admits to this, making her an outlier within her profession. So Washington has indicated that the day is called to those interested in finding their life's purpose and gaining wisdom for living a fulfilling life. It is the reason she conceptualized Defining Wealth Day so as to help like-minded people develop individual goals and visions rather than forcing themselves to live a life of deprivation to become rich, the way people can become best version of themselves and focus on relationships that matter. So today is also commemorated as International Sports Car Racing Day. It is celebrated on third Saturday of March every year to celebrate and enjoy extreme famous international sports called sports car racing. This year it falls on March 15 and it coincides with the 12 hours of Sebring Sports Car Endurance, and International Sports Car Racing Day is celebrated on the same day as endurance race held in Sebring, Florida at the International Raceway. So the 12 hours of Sebring, 24 hours of Daytona, and 24 hours of Le Mans were widely considered the trifecta of sports car racing. Today is also commemorated as Ramakrishna Jayanti in India and across Indian diaspora across the world on March 15th. And it has been more than 175 years since Sage Ramakrishna was born, and today, on occasion of Ramakrishna Jayanti, which Jayanti means birth anniversary, celebrates the birth of the great sage Ramakrishna. A staunch devotee of goddess Kali, Ramakrishna was a religious and spiritual leader and reformer. Even today, years after his death, the devotees gather in the Ramakrishna Mutt, a charitable trust founded by Ramakrishna student Swami Vivekananda, to offer their prayers and donations. Ramakrishna was born in 1836 to Khudiram Chattopadhyay and Chandramani Devi in the village of Karmapur in West Bengal, India. It is believed that Ramakrishna's father and mother had premonitions and spiritual experiences, suggesting that God would descend to earth in the form of their son. Ramakrishna joined school but soon discontinued as he felt that the method of education was not right. He believed that the education system was made so that the students learned less about spirituality and the important things in life, and that is merely method that taught them to make money and survive in this world. Ramakrishna had several trance experiences throughout his childhood. His first experience was when he was mesmerized by the sight of cranes flying in the dark blue sky covered with thunder clouds. In 1885, Ramakrishna was appointed as the head priest of the Dakshineshwar Kali temple built by Rani Rashmoni, a wealthy aristocrat. Many years later, Ramakrishna had a huge following. One of his most popular disciples was William Hastie, a lecturer in the Scottish Church College. Hastie encouraged Narendranath Datta and a few other students to visit Ramakrishna. Datta was initially skeptical, but when he reached Ramakrishna's mat, he was spellbound. He soon became a staunch follower of the Ramakrishna, and later Datta came to be known as Swami Vivekananda. In 1885, Ramakrishna developed throat cancer, and by 1886, Ramakrishna took his last breath. Vivekananda led a group of disciples and formed a fellowship at Baranagar near the Ganges River, and this was the initiation of Ramakrishna. And thus, March 15th was selected to be Ramakrishna Jayanti. So Sharada Devi was Ramakrishna's wife. She was a religious teacher and was known as a Holy Mother, Sri Sharada Devi, or the Holy Mother. Many of the Ramakrishna's disciples believed that Ramakrishna was an avatar of God. Paramahamsa literally means supreme swan and a title given to spiritual leaders in India. Ramakrishna is said to have seen Goddess Kali multiple times. His follower Vivekananda has stated that he has seen Goddess Kali. Ramakrishna had asked Vivekananda to ask money, but as soon as Vivekananda saw Kali, he forgot all about materialistic questions. So that's, he tested Vivekananda also. So Ramakrishna was one of the most influential spiritual leaders of the 19th century. One of his greatest teachings was all spiritual roads have one destination. Use this day to learn more about this great mystic and his teachings. Ramakrishna Jayanti is celebrated grandly in Ramakrishna Math. If you want to know more about this great spiritual leader and his teachings, you can visit the Ramakrishna Math at various places in India. You can find a nearby Ramakrishna Math in your state or area. Spiritual guidance is also provided at the institution, and it would be a remarkable journey on your spiritual quest, as there are a lot of temple and you have a lot of books available, library and teachings, skill development, life skills development, and communication, a lot of courses also offered there. So Ramakrishna believed that the goal of human life is the realization of ultimate reality. So Ramakrishna believed about the ultimate reality is one, but it can be either personal or impersonal. Ramakrishna believed that the ultimate reality is one, but he can be recognized through different paths. Ramakrishna believed that purity of mind is an important condition to attain ultimate reality. Ramakrishna believed that egoism was the root cause of all sufferings. So Ramakrishna's teaching spread all around the world. World-renowned spiritual leader Vivekananda was a faithful follower of Ramakrishna, and that proves how influential Ramakrishna's teachings were. This day also allows us to look back and learn from the teachings of the spiritual guru, Ramakrishna. As we dive deep into the history of Ramakrishna, we find another historical facts about the lives of spiritual gurus and contemporary society. This day is a great day to read more and expand our general knowledge in spirituality. So we can often caught up with our busy lives and associated stress. This day allows us to set aside the stress and gives the opportunity for self-introspection and to understand the importance of spirituality in life. Today is also commemorated as World Consumer Rights on celebrated March 15th every year, which is a global event that aims to raise awareness about consumer rights and needs. Consumer rights mean that every person who buys various products, goods, and services has the right to have information on the quality, purity, price, and standard of those products. You have the right to file a complaint from anywhere, anytime as a consumer. Most people are not aware of their rights as consumers. So by celebrating this day and commemorating this day, we make others aware of the right of the demand protection and stay safe from fraudulent activities in the marketplace. The ultimate goal of World Consumer Rights, observed annually on March 15th, is to ensure consumers have all the necessary information to make an informed decision. The history of this day is an interesting one. Consumers International created and organizes World Consumer Rights Day annually. Consumers International is a global federation of consumer organizations founded in 1960, and the organization was founded as an independent and influential voice for consumers. World Consumer Rights Day has been celebrated since 1983, and the date of March 15th honors the speech made by the US President John Fitzgerald Kennedy to the US Congress on March 15, 1962. In his speech, he called the four fundamental consumer rights: the right to safety, the right to be informed, the right to choose, and the right to be heard. Since then, World Consumer Rights Day has grown in popularity and is celebrated every year with a specific theme. One of the most interesting themes, tackling plastic pollution, aimed to raise awareness of sustainable consumption and practices, focusing on manufacturing and usage of plastics and their impact on the environment. So knowing our rights as consumers is crucial because we can only identify whether we are getting fooled or cheated. If we know our consumer rights, most importantly, we can raise our voices and take legal action against any product or service purchase that goes against our rights, talking about giving power to the people. Today is also commemorated as World Contact Day, which falls on March 15th. Every year, this day brings all alien life enthusiasts together to attempt to contact extraterrestrial beings. It's fascinating to see how many unidentified flying objects, UFOs, humans have reportedly found on Earth. People claim to see them every minute of the day, but it's not just about flying objects. There are strange and interesting things such as crop circuits, unusual signals, and fossils that show the possibility of life outside Earth. So whether ET managed to phone home or not, World Contact Day is a fun day to learn all about alien encounters. So World Contact Day has been celebrated for the last 68 plus years on March 15th. It was initiated by the International Flying Saucer Bureau, IFSB, in 1952 by Albert K. Bender. Later, the founder revealed a strange yet interesting story. Apparently, three men in black visited him at his house and they communicated with him telepathically. He felt like he was being transported. Bender also reported having a second visit from three floating figures in shadows. They told him they had captured humans from Earth to disguise themselves to have a human form on Earth for their visits. In the summer of 1953, Bender made a series of findings revealing the truth about UFO stories, which he planned to publish in October of that year. Later in October, before publishing his discoveries, once again he reported a visit by three men in black who threatened him not to publish his findings of extraterrestrial life. In November 1953, he shut down the Bureau with a caution note to alien life enthusiasts. So on this day, 1953, members of the Bureau were asked to send a peaceful telepathic note to aliens in outer space. The aliens asked for a friendly, peaceful, and mutual relationship with the humans on Earth and asked them to help ignorant people realize that there is extraterrestrial life. So in 2013, it was extended for a whole week with the final attempt to have a massive connection on March 22nd. Even though IFSB no longer exists, ET enthusiasts from all over the globe still celebrate World Contact Day. Today is also commemorated as World Essential Workers Day, which is celebrated every year across the world on March 15th. The day is observed to express gratitude to all essential workers whose contributions often go unrecognized. Essential workers are crucial to any economy. They take care of all essential functions. We are surrounded by essential workers, and in almost every critical situation, essential workers are first responders. Essential workers consist of police forces, healthcare workers, workers in sanitary department, and many more. Without them, our lives would pretty much come to a standstill. We wish happy World Essential Workers Day to every essential worker. Today is also commemorated as World Speech Day, which is an annual celebration of freedom of speech and is marked on March 15th every year. It is an initiative of Simon Gibson, who founded the day in 2015 at the Athens Democracy Forum. Public speaking events are held in over 100 countries, and people from all walks of life are encouraged to voice their opinions in front of audience. Free speech, considered a vital tenet of democracy, sees a growing threat each year. So, with World Speech Day, Gibson aspires to bring forward the unexpected voices of dissent to center stage. So, a speech can heal a broken heart, bring a community together, and mend unforeseen bridges. World Speech Day aims to honor speeches for being the oldest medium of mass communication. Simon Gibson, the founder of World Speech Day, and not the not-for-profit organization of the same name, understands that even though not everyone is gifted with the talent of public speaking, all of us have something important to contribute to the society. A stage can be an intimidating space to voice your opinions, but that shouldn't be a barrier to communication. A thought, an idea, and a dream can become a revolution with the power of speech. On March 15th, people are provided with a platform to voice your opinions, and organizations also equips participants with tools and training manuals of self-development. Public speaking events are organized in over 100 nations as people come together to share ideas, promote culture, and building global citizenship. So every World Speech Day has a theme, with some of the past ones being humanity at crossroads, using the simple power of speech to share ideas and thoughts for a better world. Today is also commemorated as International Day to combat Islamophobia and Hinduphobia and all kinds of religious phobias which are spreading hatred against certain religions. The UN General Assembly established the day to combat Islamophobia in a resolution passed by a unanimous majority in 2022, designating March 15 as a day of celebration. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation was represented by Pakistan in the resolution's introduction in the remembrance of the day in 2019 in Christchurch, New Zealand, when a shooter opened fire inside two mosques, killing 51 people and wounding another 40. The resolution was formally introduced by Pakistan UN Representative Munir Akram. He said that this resolution acknowledges the widespread rise of intolerance, prejudice, and violence against members of numerous religions and other communities, regardless of who is doing it. See, unfortunately, the so-called peaceful religions are the ones who are spreading hatred and who are converting people in the name of food, education, livelihood, and so on, and spreading hate speech, indiscrimination, indifferentiation. So that should be put an end. That's why this day is not just for Islamophobia, but also Hinduphobia and all kinds of religious terrorism activities that are happened. We have to condemn together, irrespective of what religion you may be. But this kind of religious terrorism should be stopped at immediate effect and should be taken on a very strict, stringent action, as it is perceived as a geopolitical power or a source of terrorism. Today is also commemorated as International Eat an Animal for PETA Day, or Eat PETA, which falls on the year born out of scorn of people for ethical treatment of animals and their aggressive and often hurtful ad campaigns, but we need to understand that they also draw awareness to PETA's hypocrisy, considering that their shelters have unusually high rate of euthanization. So this is on both sides. There is a concern that we also need to look at our own uh, pitfalls or our own lacunae in doing things. So though we need to be aware of the climate change and we need to be aware of the animal welfare, animal cruelty, animal suffering. Our resource person today, we will be talking about animal welfare. That's why we have included today for the entire 10 days, we have a session, a workshop on animal welfare every day. So he will be talking in detail about animal welfare and animal advocacy, animal rights, animal cruelty, suffering, and so on. So with this, we end today's commemorations. Like this, we every day we take commemorations and see across the world what are the things that are happening, how these are helping to contribute in achieving sustainable development, in promoting different ways, by promoting veganism, by protecting environment, by protecting, humanity, promoting humanity, peace, global harmony, and different aspects of sustainable development goals. So, with this, we shall end today's commemorations and with a brief history of, our World Social Work Day, which takes place on 18th March 2025. That is third Tuesday on every year on in March, third Tuesday. This year's theme is strengthening international solidarity for enduring well-being, which emphasizes the importance of caring and respecting across generations to build strong societies, sustain the environment, and share the wisdom for the better future. So the theme is also more appropriate. So this is the right occasion to start these social work celebrations and conference. So we request everyone to be active part of these, celebrations, and we all can together, we all can together come forward and be part of this and make it a grand success. It is our celebration. So we request everyone to spread a word quickly and everyone be part of it. And, everyone also benefit from this wonderful opportunities, as we are very helpful, but at the same time, you don't expect your work to be done by us, right? You complete your formalities and rest we will take care of. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations and we'll move on, inviting the presentations quickly, and then we'll move on to our session for the day. So be connected. We see some people are not connected to audio. That's why with that, you will not be able to hear anything. I see some messages I can't hear. So ensure that your mic, speakers, and all of the Zoom settings are properly working, and ensure that before joining Zoom itself, you can test it so that you are enjoying the benefits of everyone. So now we will just look at the chat box, and we request everyone before presenting go through the presentation guidelines. It is very important for everyone to know the guidelines before doing any job, any work. It is always advisable. And there is also an instruction for all the presenters. There will be a registration form, as you are seeing, everyone is able to fill. So don't close that. Once we give you co-host permissions, don't do anything extra that is not intended to be done by you. If you see any form, you minimize that form. Don't end. There will be an option end poll. Don't end that. Once you end that, we will be not able to reopen it, because again data will be lost and everyone will have to fill up again. So you will be the person to be blamed, and you will be the person responsible for loss of all the attendance. And you will be blacklisted from all the future events appearing because you are creating a problem issue here. So you'll be not allowed. So whenever you are given opportunity, do what is only allowed. If you see any registration forms or anything that are coming up, only for presenters I'm saying. For others, you can fill the registration form and submit it. For presenters, whenever we give you permission, you can see the window. You just minimize it and be careful with the instructions. Kindly go through the instructions. We are not going to repeat. And even if you know or you don't know, mistake is a mistake. So accept it. We all have to accept it, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Mistake is always a mistake. So don't do that mistake because it will create an issue for others. Others cannot mark their attendance. So that's the reason. So we are now calling for the presenters and make sure you are following the presentation guidelines and you also complete your formalities and minimize the registration form, don't close it. And immediately, once you are given permission, only thing you have to do is you have to unmute yourself. You have to start your video, which is mandatory so that because most of us are new to each other and it is also we are documenting. So we need to have your video also on. And then you share your presentation. Keep your presentations open in your mobiles or devices and click on share screen and select the window, whichever PPT is open. Or you can share the entire desktop and keep the open. But the other way is, keep PPT open and you share that window. When you click on share screen, you can see that particular window where PPT is open. You can click on that and ensure that slides are moving and keep your video and audio on. Once your session is off, then you can mute yourself, wait for the instructions, and you can stop sharing immediately. Once it is done, so that other people can interact with you, or you can wait for the instructions. So with these instructions, we'll move on to presentations. So we'll go to the chat box. So whoever is waiting for the presentations can share their details in the chat box. So the first session, we'll take it up. The first message is from Pradeep. Workshop, we will take it after these presentations, Mr. Pradeep, kindly, because we have fewer presentations. Your presentation will take time. So we'll quickly move on to presentations. So we have intrinsic motivations, mediating role pursued, organizational supports, impact on organizational citizenship behavior in Indian sector by Jignesh Bansari. Hope you are aware and you have gone through the presentation guidelines and follow them so that it is easy for us also. Are you there? You can raise your hand. If you are there for the presentation. Jignesh Bansari. If you are not there, we will move on to other presenter. Yeah, kindly respond when we are calling your names. Okay, now you are being allowed, giving permission as co-host. So once again, I am reminding all the presenters, do not close the whole form that you will be seeing. You can minimize it and unmute yourself, start your video and your presentation with your introduction. So how to start, how to end, you have all those details in presentation guidelines. So follow those guidelines. Yeah, now we can go ahead, Mom.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Am I-
Yes, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, can you see my presentation?
It's not yet visible.
Just a second.
And always address you are just a student and remind this is a platform maintained by professors. Always address properly because that is the culture your parents have given you. So it is not only just a remark to you and also your parents. So behave appropriately on the platform because you are younger children. So address elders with proper salutation. This is very important wherever you are.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Jignesh Bansari, and I'm an MSc psychology student with a specialization in human resource management and development. I also work as an HR intern, gaining practical application and experience in the organizational behavior. Today, I'm presenting my research that is titled Intrinsic Motivations Mediating Role, Perceived Organizational Support's Impact on Organizational Citizenship Behavior in the Indian IT Sector. I would like to thank the organizers of this conference for giving me this opportunity and this platform to present my research and share my ideas with everyone who is here on this platform with me today. So starting with introduction. So basically, in contemporary workplace, fostering positive employee attitudes and behavior is very important for gaining the performance and competitive edge in environment like in very what do you say, competitive environment. So perceived organizational support basically means gauging employees' perception of organizational appreciation and care. Significantly, it influences employee attitudes, behaviors, and leads to organizational outcomes. On the other hand, organizational citizenship behaviors encompasses voluntary actions beyond the job duties, improving the functioning of an organization. Some examples might be aiding your colleagues to do some work, taking on extra tasks, advocating for your organization like employer branding. Research shows that fostering OCB, that is organizational citizenship behavior again, boosts the teamwork, commitment, and performance. Intrinsic motivation arises from internal drives and satisfaction. Crucial, it is very crucial for sustained employee engagement, which is very important. Perceived organizational support enhances intrinsic motivation by fostering feeling of value and care. This intrinsic motivation in turn prompts organizational citizenship behavior, as employees are driven by personal fulfillment to contribute positively beyond their role. So when a organization gives, when an employee feels perceived organizational support from their organization, it leads to be an intrinsic motivation, which basically leads to OCB, is what my research is about. Now, moving on to the rationale or the importance. So there is, first of all, limited research and knowledge gap in this area. Existing studies says that POS, that is perceived organizational support, is related to organizational citizenship behavior, but they don't show the mediating effect, like how they are done actually. So it's scarce, and also especially in the Indian context. So current literature lacks the focus on the Indian IT sector, a crucial sector with a unique dynamics. Also, the unexplored context, the potential mediating role, like I said, of intrinsic motivation in the POS OCB relationship hasn't been explored yet. And the need for deeper understanding. Existing Indian study require a more comprehensive examination of the POS OCB intrinsic motivation relationship. So this research basically aims to bridge the gap by investigating the specific dynamics of POS, OCB, and intrinsic motivation within the Indian IT sector. Moving on to the methodology. So starting with research methodology, this study employs a quantitative research methodology to basically investigate the relationship between POS, intrinsic motivation, and OCB. Data collection was conducted through structured surveys using validated scales to ensure reliability and validity of the data. Research design was basically cross-sectional study design, capturing data from participants at a single point of time. This designs provide a snapshot of the relationship between variables, facilitating an understanding of the interaction within the current organizational context. So when you talk about the sample size was 257 individuals that were recruited from various IT companies across India, be it East, West, North, and South. The sample was representative of the working age population in the Indian IT sector and included both genders. Inclusion criteria basically was a person has to work full time in the Indian IT industry, and they should have at least 1 year of experience to ensure familiarity with the organizational context. Age range was 22 to 59 years, which is reflective of the typical working age in the Indian IT sector. Exclusion criteria was basically who are people who are not working or employed full time in the Indian IT industry, like contract workers or freelancers or something like that, and employees with less than 1 year of experience, as they may not have a fully formed understanding of the organizational support they get. And sampling method, we used purposive sampling to recruit participants. It targeted full-time IT professionals across India, at least 1 year of experience, and ensuring familiarity with the organizational support systems. Now, moving to data collection, these are the tools that I use, starting with organizational citizenship behavior checklist. It's a 10-item scale, which was designed to assess the frequency of citizenship behaviors in the workplace. Based on a 5-point Likert scale, and respondents were asked to indicate how often the behavior is performed by themselves or others. The item has a reliability score of 0.90, which is very good, according to Martin and colleagues 2022. Eisenberg Berger and colleagues in 1997 used the shortened version of perceived organizational support scale to measure the employee's perception of organizational support. The same scale was used in my study as well, and it also has a reliability of 0.90. And the third scale that I used was work intrinsic and extrinsic motivation scale. And it uses 3 questions to assess intrinsic motivation, focusing on internal drives, personal interests, and psychological needs. And it has a reliability score of 0.80, according to Kotera and colleagues. Moving to data analysis, me and my mentor both use descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. So descriptive statistics were employed to summarize the sample characteristics and variable distributions, while the inferential statistics method, like correlation analysis, regression analysis, and mediation analysis, were used to test the hypothesis. I did all that in a software known as Jamovi, and it was used for data analysis. So moving on to the findings of the research, let's start with descriptive statistics. Moderate levels observed for POS, that is perceived organizational support. The mean was 45.4 IM and OCB. Standard deviation indicated variability in some responses, and data was not normal according to Shapiro-Wilks, so non-normal data distribution was there. Correlation analysis, so basically non-normal data analysis was done. Going to correlation analysis, significant positive correlations were done among POS, IM, and OCB. POS correlates with intrinsic motivation, that is IM, with P less than 0.001, and with OCB also it's less, P is less than 0.001. Intrinsic motivation also correlates strongly with OCB with a p-value of less than 0.001. So when we know the items are correlated, we went to the next step, that is a regression. So my regression analysis resolver model explains approximately 49.5% of the variance in OCB that was caused. R square was 0.495. Both POS and IM significantly predicted OCB with a p-value of less than 0.001. Moving on to the mediation analysis, intrinsic motivation, mediates a relationship between POS and OCB. Indirect effect of POS and OCB via intrinsic motivation was 0.356. p-value again less than 0.001, and the total effect, that is direct plus indirect, was 0.809, again with a p-value of 0.001, which is very significant. Now, talking about the limitations of research, because again, it was a cross-sectional design. Starting with the design constants, cross-sectional designs limit causal interference. So longitudinal studies, which do more of that. Moving on to the data distribution, since this was a non-normal distribution, it necessitated the use of non-parametric methods instead of parametric methods, affecting the statistical power. Measurement issues basically reliance on self-reported data and might induce some biases like social desirability bias while people lying on the survey. And generalizability, a sample was limited to 257 IT professionals in India, potentially reducing the broader applicability of the findings. Moving on to the further scope of research, longitudinal studies can be done, as I said earlier, to explore the temporal dynamics and causality among POS, IM, and OCB. Multi-source data should be taken care of and should be included to incorporate supervisor, peer evaluations to minimize the self-report bias. An expanded model should be done to investigate additional mediators and moderators that can be like job satisfaction, leadership, organizational culture, etc. Broader samples could be taken, like extending the research to diverse industries and geographic regions. And most importantly as well, emerging trends according to the time and examining their impact of modern workplace trends on motivation and citizenship behaviors. So to summarize all of that has been talked about till now, the research overview is study examines how POS and intrinsic motivation influence OCB among IT employees in India. The key findings were both POS and IM significantly predict OCB, with IM playing a crucial mediating role. Practical implication where organizations should invest in supportive practices that enhances intrinsic motivation to gain that competitive edge and to be successful longer term, and also it can foster OCB. Limitations, again, cross sectional design, so again it's not a longitudinal study, so and reliance also on self reports limit causal interpretations. Future directions, where should be headed, should adopt longitudinal designs, as I said, utilize diverse data sources, and explore additional moderating factors. Overall conclusion to end this is findings highlight the critical role of creating supportive work environments in organization to enhance the employee engagement and discretionary behaviors, offering actionable insights for HRM practices in the Indian IT sector. These are my references. You can have a look. And again, I would like to be thankful of the organizers of this conference to give me this platform, the peers who helped me during this research, the mentor, and everyone who helped me guide through going through this research. I'll stop sharing my screen now. And also, if there are any questions, I would like to answer them.
Very well presented. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can raise your hand so that we can give you permission to unmute. Or you can also share your feedback in the chat box.
Yes, that would be great as well. Thank you.
Okay, in the meanwhile, I have a query to you.
Yeah.
So you have been studying IT employees' behavior.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, what are the significant, motivation factors that you have observed in retaining IT employees, or with respect to of employee satisfaction?
All right. So, thank you for asking me that question, first of all. So basically, motivation means different things for different people. There are two types of motivation: extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivations. Some people, as be it any industry, be it IT or any, specifically if we are talking about IT industry, there are people who are also motivated by extrinsic factors like let's say increasing their salary or giving them bonuses or something like that, as well as there are some people who are extrinsically motivated, so basically giving them some awards in cases I realized, and also changing their position, giving them more promotion, even if the money is the same or something like that. So it depends on a subject to subject. It's subjective, to be honest. So yeah.
So, have you done any comparative analysis of these intrinsic or extrinsic
So
motivating factors, and which dominates or predominates among others, which is significant, more significant than others?
okay. So my research was not specifically about that, but at the same time, when I was going, I work in the IT industry as well. So that's why I wanted to focus on that sector as well. But during, as per my experience, as I've talked with multiple people and all, and in this competitive environment, I've realized through my experience, people are more right now. It's the people at the lower level, like ground level or something like that, at the earlier stages of their work life, want more intrinsic motivation, and people in their later stages of employment life, that is senior position, wanted more intrinsic motivation, because money might not create the same effect for them as it would do for the people who are freshers or new to the organization.
Okay, good observation. That is, in generally also that's right.
Yeah,
Because initially people try to settle down,
true that.
getting the opportunities,
Yeah,
and money is not the criteria at that particular point
yeah,
of time, because getting an opportunity is more important.
true,
Once you get the opportunity and stabilize over it, then
true,
you can shift on to a better position or better opportunity.
true that.
So, very good observation. And yeah, do similar kind of research, because this is in need of our. Many employees keep leaving the organizations, even they
True,
are highly paid at
true that.
times, because like there is a famous quote, widely being circulated
True,
in social media. You are liked, but you are not being valued.
true,
Being valued is more important.
true that.
Liking, okay, everyone likes you, but whether they value you or not, that is more important.
True that. So
So,
also, yeah,
yeah,
please.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So also my aim behind going for IT industry was also that the IT industry is very competitive and the retention rates are also very high. So people change their jobs because of many motivation factors. Like you said, it can be something like intrinsic motivated, like something like I'm not provided enough valued in the company, even if I'm paid well, or some company might pay me not pay me well, but there is a value, so something like that. And I wanted to go more and research about it. So yeah,
Very well answered and presented. Congratulations, and we wish you all the success for
thank you so
future
much.
endeavors.
Thank you. Can I turn off my video now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you have any queries or suggestions, you can continue to share in chat box. We will move on with the next session now.
sure, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
So now we will move on to next presenter. We'll go back to the chat box. So we have Shibita Satish, also student from same Department of Psychology, Christ University. She is presenting on workplace isolation, the impact of organization culture on remote on-site employees in Indian IT sector. Shibita, hope you have gone through the presentation guidelines. You can unmute yourself, start your
Yes, sir.
audio, unmute yourself, and start your video as well and presentation.
Am I visible?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, distinguished members. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present at the conference. And I would like to start with a bit of introduction. So my name is Shubhita Satish, and I'm honored to present my research on workplace isolation, the impact of organizational culture on remote and on-site employees in the Indian IT sector. So this study was conducted as a part of my master's in science of psychology with a specialization in human resource management at Christ University under the guidance of Dr. Anupama. So today I will be, taking you through the key aspects of my research, including the background, methodology, findings, and also the implications of the study. So talking about the introduction, so the modern workplace has undergone a significant transformation with the widespread adoption of remote work, particularly in the Indian IT sector. So while remote work offers flexibility, it also introduces new challenges, and most pressing being workplace isolation. So employees who work remotely often experience feelings of disconnect, reduced collaboration, and a lack of informal interactions, all of which can deeply impact productivity, job satisfaction, and their overall well being. So, this study explores how different organizational culture types, such as clan culture, advocacy, market, and hierarchy culture, influence the workplace isolation among remote and on site employees. So, understanding these dynamics is really crucial for organizations as they continue to navigate the hybrid work environment in the post pandemic era. So, talking about the research problem here, so workplace isolation has emerged as one of the biggest challenges for remote employees. So, unlike their on site counterparts, remote employees often struggle with a lack of spontaneous conversations, reduced access to managerial support, and also limited networking opportunities. So, while organizations have implemented, virtual communication tools and also engagement strategies, many employees still report feeling disconnected from their teams. And organizational culture plays a significant role in shaping the overall employee experience. Yet its impact on workplace isolation has not been sufficiently explored in the Indian IT sector. So this research aims to bridge the gap between this and also by examining which types of organizational cultures can reduce isolation and which ones contribute to it. So, by understanding these relationships, companies can adopt more effective strategies to foster a more connected and engaged workforce. So, talking about the review of literature, talking about the research objectives. So, this study was designed with three key objectives in mind. Firstly, it aims to measure the level of workplace isolation among remote and on site employees in the Indian IT sector. Secondly, it seeks to compare work environments and analyze the differences in workplace isolation between these two groups. And finally, moving on to the third one, it investigates which organizational culture types are associated with higher or lower levels of workplace isolation to provide insights into how these companies can create a more inclusive and supportive workplaces. Moving on to the review of literature. So, workplace isolation is defined as a lack of social or informational support. And previously, studies have shown that remote work is often associated with high levels of isolation, primarily due to the absence of daily face to face interactions and limited informal networking opportunities. So, organizational culture plays a key role in shaping the employee experiences. According to Cameron and Kim's OCI tool, so organizations generally fall into four culture types, namely clan, advocacy, and market, and also hierarchy. So each of these cultures have their distinct characteristics, which can either, reduce the feelings of isolation or increase them. Talking about the conceptual framework. So, the conceptual framework of this study examines how the relationship between workplace isolation and the organizational culture. So, here, organizations with a clan culture emphasize teamwork and collaboration and support, and they are expected the people there are expected to experience lower levels of isolation, in contrast to hierarchy cultures, which is characterized by often by rigid structures and strict protocols and top-down communication, which may lead to higher levels of workplace isolation. So this study also investigates adhocracy and market cultures, which focus mainly on the innovation and competition to determine whether they have a significant impact on workplace isolation. So this framework guided the formulation of the study's hypothesis. So based on the existing literature, two hypotheses were developed for this study. The first hypothesis states that the remote employees experience higher levels of workplace isolation compared to on-site employees. And the second hypothesis proposes that the different organizational culture types influence workplace isolation in varying degrees, with some cultures fostering a more connected work environment while others contribute to employee isolation. So this study employed a quantitative research design using a cross-sectional survey to collect data from 281 employees working in the Indian IT sector. So to measure the workplace isolation, study used a workplace isolation scale, which was developed by Marshall in 2007. And the organizational culture was assessed using the OCI scale, which was by Kim and Cameron. And the data was analyzed using different statistical tests, which helped determine whether there was significant differences in workplace isolation between the remote and on-site employees and how different organizational culture types influence these perceptions. Moving on to the key findings. So firstly, we will be talking about the comparison between the remote workers and the on-site work. So the findings of the study reveal that remote employees reported significantly higher workplace isolation than their on-site counterparts. So the statistical tests confirmed a significant difference, reinforcing the idea that physical presence in the workplace plays a crucial role in reducing the feelings of isolation. So many remote employees highlighted the lack of real-time communication, reduced social interactions, and also difficulty in assessing managerial support as key factors contributing to their isolation. Also, moving on to the next heading. So here we're talking about the organizational culture and the workplace isolation. So here the correlation analysis showed that clan culture had negative correlation with workplace isolation, which suggests that a supportive and a team-oriented environment significantly reduces feelings of isolation. And on the other hand, hierarchy culture, which is characterized by rigid structures. So here there was a positive correlation between workplace isolation, indicating that highly structured and formal work environments significantly contributed to increased isolation. And interestingly, adhocracy and market cultures did not show significant correlations with workplace isolation, suggesting that neither innovation-driven nor competition-driven cultures strongly impact employee sense of isolation. So, discussing the we're having a discussion and the implications. So, these findings emphasize the critical role of organizational culture in shaping the employee experiences. So, organizations that promote collaborative and supportive work environments are likely to mitigate workplace isolation, whereas the rigid structures can, increase the feelings of disconnect. So organizations embracing remote and hybrid work models, it is essential to incorporate elements of clan culture, such as regular team interactions, mentorship programs, and also virtual engagement initiatives to reduce the feelings of isolation. So, coming to the recommendations, so to address workplace isolation, organizations should, introduce various activities and also informal chat platforms for their remote employees. For the on-site employees, increasing autonomy and flexibility can help maintain the engagement. And from a broader perspective, organizations should develop hybrid work models that integrate clan culture elements, ensuring that employees, whether they are remote or on-site, should feel valued and connected. Talking about the limitations and the future scope of the study. So this study focused exclusively on the Indian IT sector, which may limit its generalizability. Additionally, the self-reported nature of the data could induce biases, and future studies could explore the longitudinal studies on workplace isolation trends and examine how leadership styles and DI practice could influence the workplace isolation. So in conclusion, this study confirms that remote employees experience higher workplace isolation, and organizational culture plays a crucial role in either mitigating or increasing these feelings. And by fostering a more inclusive and collaborative work environment, organizations can significantly enhance employee engagement and well being. So I would like to thank everyone again for giving me this opportunity, and I'm open to, happy to take any questions.
Congratulations, very well presented. Let's
Thank
stop
you so
sharing.
much. Yes.
So participants, if you have any queries, feel free to ask or share in chat box. We were talking about workplace isolation. So as you mentioned,
Right.
you were compared among on-site and off-site employees, right?
Right. That's correct.
So what were the significant factors that you observed apart from the ones you discussed? Whether the family is playing any role, family members, or significant related ones. It is extended family members or friends. Have you observed any?
Right. So usually what happens is, so these employees, so more in the IT sector, so a lot of the family members are usually working as well. And often the disconnect here is caused because of the work. And it's more because of, how for family members, I wouldn't say there was a lot of people who did I collected the data from. So their families were also working, their spouse is working. So they're often, home alone. So this leads to increased feelings. And also when it's remote working, so there is a very the line for the work-life balance itself. So that also kind of, gets blurry. So that's something, which leads to increased feelings of isolation as well.
Okay. So among employees, especially when employees are working within the organization, what kind of factors you observed which are leading to the cause of isolation?
So for on-site employees, majority of the times it can be due to, team meetings or any team outings. So one of the main factors was having informal team outings. So usually people go out for informal team outings. So in such cases, a lot of times when people aren't included in such things, so the feelings of isolation are greatly increased here for the on-site employees. So this was one of the factors which I observed.
So have you conducted any introversion or extroversion test, to find out where the isolation is significant, whether in introverts or extroverts or ambiverts or any?
No, that would be something that would be a scope for future research as well. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Maybe the introverts may
Right.
be more isolated than
Exactly.
extroverts.
Right.
Their personality also might be influencing isolation.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very good study. In fact, see, in this digital world and where we are isolated in our homes also, right? We are more
Definitely.
engaged with gadgets, and we
Yes.
are not even talking to our family members to that extent. Not completely
That's right.
isolated, but the communication has come down so drastically that even children now, to call them also for dinner also, parents are chatting, texting them, come to dinner
Right.
table. So
That's
I mean, to that extent, if we reduce the communication, the relationships, the kind of affection we share among each other, the kind of bonding also affects,
right.
because we are in a virtual world where like we are more liked, but we are not valued. Our value is not based on, the kind of association we have, because these are virtual relationships where, like, we might have so many friends online, but uh, when there is a need of crisis, or when there is any need, you really can't reach out to them, or they can't
Yes.
really come for a rescue, even
Right.
not just materialistically or financially, even for the, for social support also. So because these virtual relationships are, sometimes they are just like a passing cloud. You see at one moment, other moment you see,
Right.
you may be having 5,000 friends on Facebook, but
In reality,
moment you
yeah.
see there is none from 5,000, not even a single person also. So virtual world is always a, virtual magic like thing. But
Definitely.
always a physical presence, the presence of mind, the presence of the present, conscious presence is what makes always. So we always have to be in reality in contact with the world where we are existing. We need
Right.
to maintain relationships. Of course, we need to allot some time apart from others also. This is what, especially the younger generations need to learn, because we see at our days, we don't have this kind of online interaction. Online time was very less. Hardly
Right.
there was any online time.
Exactly.
It was only on, telephone, those landlines. But there were a lot of opportunities to interact with each other. But today, everything is happening online. Video
Right.
conferencing, on WhatsApp calls or Zoom or Google Meet, Skype, and FaceTime and all we are using. So the kind of interaction, the quality of interaction is also being affected, because
Right.
we are not able to feel that kind of interaction, because the sensory modalities, the kind of you know uh, triggering of that sensory modalities are not to that level or to that extent when that happens in face to face. There are various
Absolutely.
factors and studies that are also happening. Maybe you can also focus on these kind of elements that are also influencing these.
Definitely. Yes. And like I mentioned, so I feel another important point is like the work-life balance. So when you're working online, often that line gets blurry, and often we forget to log out, and also like the people at home, we that's another reason for the disconnect, I would say. So just adding on to your point, so that would be something. Yeah.
Yeah, we have observed this in COVID time, right? Where
Right.
both the couples are there. I mean, all the family members are there within the four boundary of walls.
Yes.
And it created a lot of more tensions rather than,
Yes.
everyone was thinking
It's
initially it was a very good time
convenient. Yes.
to sit
Hmm.
together, talk with each other, spend time with each other. But over a period of time, it turned out into a different story altogether. We have seen a lot of domestic violence, abuse,
Yes.
and we have seen, a lot of diverse issues. Or even people filed online divorce from sitting their own home, and they have isolated in, in separate rooms till they got the divorce. I mean, they got access to these things, because what happened exactly is everyone needs privacy, their own space. No matter, even sometimes couples also, they need some personal space. So that personal space was, not happening. It was not there, because they were almost every time 24 by 7 seeing each other. So literally, everyone, each other was poking into each other. Even that was also a kind of engagement, because there was none other kind of engagement apart from that. So these things are also impacted. Even pre-COVID and post-COVID also, we have seen a drastic change in relationships and all other
Right.
factors. So these factors
Exactly.
also should be considered, which can also have an impact.
Right. Yes,
So
definitely.
very well. This presentation also provoked a lot of thoughts, which could also be the factors influencing. Very well presented, and we wish you all the success for future endeavors. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insights. I will definitely incorporate these, the elements that you just mentioned. So, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well. Yep, thank you. I would be switching off my video now.
You do complete the formalities by going through the
Yes,
presentation guidelines. It's mandatory.
yes. So, yeah, will
So
do that.
then we will move on to the next presenter. We'll go to chat box. We have one query to Shibita. From Pradeep. Shibita, based on your research, any sort of study had conducted on workplace isolation and impact of family relationship? I think to an extent we discussed on it. Anything you would like to add more?
Yeah, I mean, that would be like the point I mentioned for the work-life balance itself. I think that's an additional point that I would like to put forward. So, other than that, I feel often we get restricted. We are often so involved in, at times we are so involved and we often forget to, log out or focus more on the family. So I would say that is one of the points I'd like to mention.
Thank you. So Pradeep, hope that's clear. Well, if you still have any further query, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Ravindra sir. Shibita, I just want to have one recommendation also. See,
Sure.
most of the time, since being isolated, most will have some mental health issue problems too.
Right.
So which often leads to the domestic violence. So if you can incorporate that aspect, so will be helpful for the employee well-being. So
Definitely.
because working in a remote place, most of the time being sitting at home, so they will not be much communicative.
Right.
So that creates a lot of stress in the, and also they may not able to communicate with the family members because of the mounting pressure of the work and all.
Exactly. Yes.
So these, if you can incorporate, it will
Definitely.
be,
That's a really good point, Pradeep. Thank you so much for your contribution.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
definitely incorporate that, and that's a it's a really good insight. So I would be incorporating that as well. Yeah.
All the
Thank you
very
so
best.
much. Thank you so much, you too.
Yeah.
I think with this, we can move on. If you still have any queries or suggestions, feel free to share in chat box. We will take it to the respective presenter. So at the end also, we can have, if we have some time, we can discuss on. So thank you, Shibita, and thank you, Pradeep.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Pradeep.
So we'll move on to next presenter. So we have, go to chat box. And just before inviting Pradeep for the session, for the workshop, animal welfare workshop, that is going to be conducted for all the 10 days on every day. So those who are attending the 10 days workshop will be getting an additional certificate, uh, certifying them uh, for the participation for 10 days workshop. Additionally, from conference. So we request everyone to quickly register if you have not registered, and share with your friends also to join and make utilize one session. Okay, fine if you miss it, but try to attend most of the sessions. So now I invite Mr. Pradeep, who is an animal activist and also animal advocate, and he is also a financial consultant, and he has been working in animal welfare since almost a decade, and we have been closely working on various animal welfare related activities. So we invite you, Pradeep. You can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation.
Thank you, Ravindra sir, for such wonderful introduction. So, a very warm welcome you all on behalf of Sri Holistic Health Foundation of India, and we welcome you to the International Social Work Day. So, before going further, let me share my presentation. Just a moment.
In the meanwhile, anyone else would like to make presentation? So you can share your details in the chat box. After this session, we can take it up. And anyone who have opted today as a preferred date and time and who could not present, no issues. You can join every day at 6 o'clock and inform the uh, organizers about your presence with sharing your details, and we can take it up. But don't wait till last day, because we don't know, because we have kept open for spot registrations. We don't know whether you will get an opportunity. So as early as possible, you try to complete your presentations. If you have multiple presentations, try to complete one each day. Basically, this is to encourage everyone. So utilize this opportunity, inform your friends, and complete your formalities in advance, or at least immediately after your presentation, so that your certificates are ready in time. Yeah, over to you, Pradeep. You can see your presentation.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
You
Ravindra sir,
can
for
make it full
confirming.
screen if
Yes, sir.
possible.
Yeah, I hope now it is visible, sir.
Continue.
Yeah, thanks a lot, sir. So, very good evening, one and all. So, today I'm going to talk about the need for animal welfare. So, before going on to the further, first we need to know about what actually is an animal welfare. So, animal welfare refers to the quality of life experienced by an animal, and it also encompasses about how well the animal is coping. Uh, like, unlike human beings, animals are sentient beings, so they express their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. So, in nutshell, animal welfare refers to the quality of life experience of the animal and how well it is coping down to the physical and mental and also emotional, and at the same time, the current environment where the animal is. So, at the same time, most of the time, we believe that. Animal welfare is the relationship we have with the animals. So you can see from the lot of the times from the many ages, and like during the farming, if you can go to the grain land for the time. So many of the time we see that cattle, so we have a very good close relationship with that. And even the law also defines that according to Article 51(18), it shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen to have a compassion towards all living creatures. And so it also mentions that it is a moral duty to take care and well-being of the animal. So when we come to the religious point of view, India is a land of ahimsa, and when we talk about Hindu culture, the Mahabharata has mentioned a lot of phrases in it, where there is one thing phrase which talks about ahimsa parama dharma. So which literally means non-violence is the highest moral virtue. So ahimsa is the highest dharma, and ahimsa is the highest self-control. So ahimsa is means uh, not doing any form of violence. It's not only towards human beings, but it is also applicable for animals. So what is the correlation between ahimsa and animal welfare? When we talk about the uh, ancient times, and we talk about the Hindu scriptures, especially when we talk about Bhagavata Purana, uh, in the 7.14.9, which emphasizes the principle of universal compassion. That means having a universal compassion and equality towards all living beings. Here, if you can see the all living beings, means it includes humans and animals, and this means that all creatures, animals deserve care and respect. They are the ones, like how we treat our own children. The similar way we need to treat the animals. And as per the Vishnu Dharma Sutra 15.69, which talks about he who does not seek to kill, cause pain, or tie up living creatures, desires the good of all attains, and he also everlasting joy. So it particularly mentioned that who doesn't cause any pain or suffering to any living creature, he'll always have a good attendance, and he also gets a everlasting joy. So moving further ahead, do we really treating the animals in a good uh, treating the animals in a good way? Are they treated properly? Are we are following the ahimsa values and principles? The answer is no. You can see the picture, the first picture. You can see that. You can understand a dog being tied and it's been dragged by a car. Now you understand if a human being was there, many of the people will come forward and say that it is inhuman way we have been doing. Many of the human rights organization will come forward. They will say that, and many of the news TV channels also, they will show it. They will show the clippings many of the times. It is an inhuman way. But what about the voiceless animals? They can't talk, unlike the human beings. But however, they can express the emotions far more better than human beings. And the second picture, it was the incident happened in Uttar Pradesh, so where a person has mercilessly beaten a cow. Now understand how much the pain the cow has been undergone. We actually uh, treat cow as a sacred mother, Go Mata. Does the Go Mata deserves this type of suffering? And when we talk about how the animals have been transported, you can see that one after the other. They have been tightly packed, and there have been nose rope. You can see in the first picture, one of the cow has been wounded. Such horrible ways they have been nose, and they have been transported, and most of them even die reaching onto the location, reaching onto the place. Some suffer from lot of malnutrition. And in the second picture, you can see that this is an incident happened in Assam. Many of the there is due to the dog meat trade. So here the animals have been packed, like how they have been very tightly, closely packed. They were not able to move. They are not able to move the legs. Now imagine if you have been boarded into a bus with most of the people closely packed, and you have to travel to the same bus to your destination. Imagine how much pain you will suffer. You can't able to stand in the bus. You'll get a lot of here and then you get breathing problems because a lot of fresh is there, and you can't able to move here and there. So for certain time we feel that much pain. Imagine how much suffering they might have undergone during the transportation. And when we talk about the environmental point of view or any other factors, what happens when there is a lack of animal welfare? Lack of animal welfare results in human health and environment. Animal welfare is not a separate entity, it is actually a part and participle of the human health and environment. And if you talk about the research, states that 75% of all emerging diseases are zoonotic diseases. The zoonotic diseases are nothing but which spreads from animals to human. When you talk about COVID-19, swine flu, H5N1, these are all the zoonotic diseases, rabies. And these diseases occur due to the lack of proper animal welfare measures. And more often, when you talk about the environmental stresses, then we see talk about the air pollution, noise pollution, hazardous chemicals. These actually occur a lot of because of the animal waste it's been deposited, and at the same time they have been deposited in the uh, so untidily. So it is not only affecting the animals, it is also affecting the human health as well. And when we talk about climate change, now we are seeing here, this is month of March, but we see the temperatures, it's getting warmer and warmer every year. And as per the IMD reports also, this is one of the warmest year. It was one of the 1901, I think so. But they mentioned that after the 1901, this is the one of the hottest year ever. So heat waves we have been seeing many, and it not only affects human beings but also the animal health. And we matter of the heat waves, we see the lot of vector-borne diseases like malaria, uh, dengue. So these are all infectious diseases we have been getting, and also a lot of allergies we are prone to it. And pollution, when we talk about, we discussed about air pollution. And in daily basis, if you can see, we are constantly exposed to a lot of chemicals in our daily lives, either through our food intake, air, water, the three forms. The water pollution, if we talk about that, poisonous toxic waste, animal waste, they have been getting deposited in our water bodies. It might be rivers, oceans, and lakes. And most of these toxic waste affect the marine life, about the fish, aquatic life, which made the survival very difficult. And we see that a lot of fish seen a lot of plastic particles. They have been getting deposited because the food and the water they eat the say, plastic small particles, nanoparticles, so which actually affects not only the aquatic and marine life, at the same time it is affecting our own health also. So this is a concept called One Health. When we talk about One Health, it's a collaborative initiative which works for the local, regional, and national at all the three. It's a global level also. So it's a belief that the health of animals and the humans and environment is linked. As I told you in the previous slides, the human health, animal health, environment, they are all interlinked. We are interlinked in a web system. Even if one of this, there is one of them has been a suffering in it, it eventually have an effect on the two of these. Let's say, for example, if you have a lack of environmental problems, environmental this stresses are there. So it ultimately affects the human health and animal health, and vice versa. So as a race, we want to survive and thrive. We don't have a choice. but to look after the environment and animals. And this is a quote by Rukmini Devi Arundel. She was a classical dancer, and she was also the first member of parliament who has introduced the PC Act, that is called the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, which today we have been enforcing the law. So it has been implemented by the member of parliament as a private bill in the member of parliament in the year 1960. She says that animals cannot speak, whereas you and I can speak for them and represent them. Let us all feel their silent cry of agony, and let us all help that cry to be heard in the world. So, unlike humans, animals cannot speak, but we can hear and understand them. So, as a human beings, as an intellect creatures, I mean, having an intelligence, so it's high time to feel their silent cry and agony and have an empathy and kindness towards them. Maybe towards feeding the animals, rescuing the animals, or making a better policy decisions. Change always starts with one step. So you can be the part of the change and bring a transformative change in the life of animals. And even the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, once said that the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged the way the animals have been treated. So with that, I am ending the presentation. So now if you have any questions, feel free to, I'm happy to answer it. So I'm stopping the screen also.
Participants, if you have any queries or suggestions, feedback, feel free to share. You can raise your hand or use chat box. Okay. So if there are no queries, you can continue to leave in chat box. So congratulations, Pradeep, for your wonderful session.
Thanks a lot, Ravindra sir, for every time encouraging us.
It is the need of the hour. We need to be sensitized towards our fellow species because of the climate change and lot of things are happening. Someone should take an initiative, and not everyone, is into everything. Not everyone, everything is everyone's cup of tea, and that too, speaking and standing on the side of animals is not an easy job. So you are doing a wonderful job. So we wish you all the success for your future endeavors and continue. May God bless you with more opportunities for contributing to animal welfare and your personal development. Congratulations once again.
Thanks a lot, sir.
So with this, I think we have called up all the presenters in the chat box. So if anyone else is there for their presentations, you can share your details or we can conclude it for the day. And once again, I'm informing everyone, that there will be no separate intimation that will be sent to you regarding confirmation of participation or presentation. Once you register in advance, after sending your all documents, we will review and shortlist on the website and schedule it accordingly. But if you are not sending your documents, we will be not able to schedule your talks or presentations. But no need to worry. You can directly join and make your presentations and then complete. It's always advisable so that beforehand we can give you any modifications are required, any suggestions are required, so that you can incorporate before presentation. So after presentation, it's like we have to review it online, and after you send your paper, we have to check it, and we have to send you the suggestions. So it's always better you send it beforehand. Otherwise, also whenever it is possible. So if you are joining on spot, you can also complete your presentations. So we have seen more than 50 presenters have registered. Though we understand it's a very short notice, but we appreciate that more than 500 participants have registered, and more than 49, I think 50, 49 exactly presenters have registered for presentations. We request everyone. So anyway, we will send you email for all the 500 plus, so almost 550, including participants and presenters. We have already sent mail also, I think 2 days back. Today, after this session, we'll also again send you with the links and also details. So whoever has presented, you complete your formalities. Whoever are yet to present, complete formalities in before time, and also inform all your friends, colleagues, and scholars to utilize this opportunity and complete your presentations. Because see, formalities, okay, you can complete before or after, but presentations, once time is lost, once conference is closed, you cannot do presentation. So utilize the presentations, make presentations, and it is always advisable you complete the formalities before prior. Otherwise, also it's okay. You can complete it before closure. So try to focus and try to complete your research presentations. This is a wonderful opportunity on an international platform on this wonderful occasion. So we encourage you, and we'll also send you those who have already presented. If you have any other presentations also, you can come forward, you can invite your friends. So with this, we shall conclude it here today. We have a lot of commemorations. So today, on the first day of international conference, we had various commemorations. We have started with the instructions to participants and presenters about the conference, briefing, and various formalities that need to be completed. And we have commemorated various commemorations which are scheduled or which are celebrated every year on March 15th, like International Day Against Police Brutality, and The feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. It is mandatory that you mark your attendance, because each day you'll be getting a different participation certificate. And presenters also, whichever day you are presenting, you also mark your attendance along with your presentation. So that way we'll be supporting each other and also encouraging, because this platform always does that, encouraging each other. That's why we have kept it open, free, no registration fees for anything, because we understand that everyone has financial hardships, and when God blesses us, we should be in a position to help others. So that is the reason, we have kept it open. So yeah, moving to today's report. So we have started today's first day of conference with the instructions to the participants and presenters about the formalities that needs to be completed. And with that, we will be taking the blessings of Almighty. We have continued with the commemorations of today's commemorations and celebrations, like International Day Against Police Brutality, International Day of Action Against Canadian Seal Slaughter, International Day to Combat Islamophobia, Hinduphobia, and so on, and International Eat an Animal per PETA Day, which criticizes in some ethical and dual standards followed by PETA, and also International Redefining Wealth Day, and also International Sports Car Racing Day, and also various other commemorations like Ramakrishna Jayanti and World Consumers Rights Day, World Contact Day, and World Essentials Workers Day, and World Speech Day, and so on. Today, we have one more commemoration also, like Save the Florida Panther Day. These panthers are magnificent cats that must be saved from going extinct. So we all need to have, especially on third Saturday of March is observed. So you can continue filling up the feedback form. I will keep you engaged with this short commemoration. So it has been almost 110 years, I think, since the Panthera classification was introduced. And, these panthers were going extinct, and, their habitats were also getting destroyed. So this was particularly observed in Florida, as the panther is the state animal in Florida. So people observe this day by joining hands with the volunteers and spreading the word about protection of panthers. Actually, it was in the year 1816 when Lawrence Oken put all the spotted big cats in genus Panthera. So in 1960, Reginald Packard made subclassification of the genus and introduced lions, tigers, and leopards and jaguars based on their characteristic features. So the biggest cause behind these panthers becoming endangered was the loss of their natural habitats. So while with the population growing and with ever expanding industries clearing up forests, many panthers were left without a home. Hunting and poaching also were major threats to the lives of panthers. So it is estimated that about 35 panthers were killed in a year. 2016, about 15 panthers were killed in the highway near Alligator. So in similar way, the Florida Department of Transportation, in short known as FDOT, was going to bring a big change in the lives and welfare of panthers by fencing the area from the Naples toll booth to Florida Panther National Wild Refuge, which is about 9 miles. So in 2015, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, in short known as FWC, recorded the finding of a female panther near the Kolshatchi River, and also noted that the panther population has gone up from 120 to 230. So this was a piece of extremely positive news. It showed that the panther conservation efforts were yielded results. So they organize guided tours, camps, and safaris. People also to help, helping the volunteers of Panther Citizens Assistance Task Force, in short known as PCAT, and played their role in ongoing campaign. People who don't reside in Florida also can be part of this journey by spreading awareness of the importance of saving panthers and their habitat even across the world. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. We request everyone to keep joining and contribute in the form of presentations and participation. And we request the institutions also to come forward for collaborations, co-signatories, that is also open. So already we have collaborated with many organizations. You can see different organizations along with the International Federation of Social Workers and various international, national, and regional associations. You can also come forward, be part of it. There is no registration charges and so on. So thank you once again, everyone, for being part of the first day of international conference. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. So before leaving, we remind you once again to quickly fill up the feedback form and mark your attendance. So see you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care. Good night. After filling the feedback form, you may leave.